Turning tragedy into action, a man who lost his wife shortly after she gave birth is pushing now to change state and federal law to help protect more women from pregnancy-related deaths. NBC4's Carolyn Johnson with the story.
Hey, Langston. I've been waiting on you, buddy.
That's the voice of Charles Johnson after he and his wife Kira watched their second son, Langston, take his first breaths.
Everybody's here to celebrate.
But just hours later, Kira took her last breath.
When you look at the medical records, around 6:30, she was classified as a surgical emergency.
She was bleeding internally, but despite her deteriorating condition, Kira implored her husband to stay calm.
As I look back and I play this over in my head, almost like I do almost every day, what she understood, just being frank, is that if I lost my temper, if I yelled, if I slammed my fist on the nurse's station, then as an African-American man, I would be seen as a threat.
It was after midnight before she finally went back into surgery.
When they took her back into surgery and opened her up, there were 3 liters of blood in her abdomen from where she had been allowed to suffer and bleed needlessly for almost 10 hours. And her heart stopped immediately, and they weren't able to save her.
That's amazing.
This healthy, vibrant woman lost her life after a scheduled cesarean at Cedars-Sinai, and Dr. Arjang Naeem called grossly negligent in Kira's death and the near deaths of several other women by the California Medical Board is still delivering babies, although no longer at Cedars.
You all are sending a loud, definitive message to this state and this country that women can be killed without consequence.
Charles testified before the medical board after learning it had placed Dr. Naeem on probation for just 4 years, during which time he is not allowed to teach or supervise other doctors or nurses.
So he is a repeat offender, but yet he's still able to practice medicine.
Dr. Naeem paid a $1 million settlement to Charles Johnson. The case against Cedars-Sinai is scheduled for trial this fall. The hospital says privacy laws prevent them from discussing the case, but they did issue this statement to the I-Team saying, in part, Cedars-Sinai faculty members support efforts to improve care and prevent maternal deaths and are actively involved in community, state, and federal initiatives to safeguard the lives of mothers and their babies. Dr. Naeem did not respond to our request for comment after we reached him by phone. Charles is now pushing for change with the medical board and beyond. He's founded the nonprofit For Kira for Moms, and he's lobbying for national legislation to better protect pregnant women. A package of bills co-sponsored by California Senator Kamala Harris is before Congress right now. He's learned the U.S. has the highest maternal mortality rate in the developed world.
African-American women are actually dying 4 times as often as their Caucasian counterparts, right? So these statistics are shameful.
Charles will never get over the loss of his beloved Kira. She was, he says, sunshine personified, a brilliant woman who spoke 5 languages fluently, who loved deeply and cherished her children.
She was in exceptional health and did everything right, and she's still not here to raise her sons.
For the I-Team, I'm Carolyn Johnson, NBC4 News.